Hello, science fans, and welcome to SHE-ensya. Why do we go hungry? Why do we even get bored? Why did we evolve to have religion? Why is makeup part of human culture? Why are babies so cute? Why do we think that aliens exist? Why do we ask questions? The SHE-ensya Why series will dissect some of our most head-scratching why questions, teasing out the scientific principles from historical records, conspiracy theories, and mass media. Join us in today's episode as we ask the question, why aliens?
E.T. phone home.
The thought of having aliens here on Earth has fascinated us for a long time. They've been depicted in so many forms, from benign sentient beings in E.T., Star Wars, and Star Trek, to dangerous malevolent creatures in Aliens, Predator, and Star Trek. We've also wondered, perhaps instinctively, about whether they're already here on planet Earth and how various governments have reacted.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here.
The interest in UFOs and extraterrestrials, although having never really died down, experienced a resurgence in 2017. This was upon the revelation of the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program, a $22 million US government-funded project that seeks to identify unidentified flying objects between 2007 and 2012. Official government UFO studies began in the late 1940s with Project Sign, providing some of the most credible videos of aerial phenomena to date. Within a few years, that program eventually evolved into Project Blue Book, which actively investigated UFO sightings throughout much of the Cold War. One of the more convincing records of extraterrestrial visits to the planet, beyond the hullabaloo of the Roswell crash site, is the USS Nimitz encounter in 2004. On November 14, 2004, the USS Princeton, part of the USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group, noted an unknown craft on radar 100 miles off the coast of San Diego. For 2 weeks, the crew had been tracking objects that appeared at 80,000 feet and then plummeted to hover right above the Pacific Ocean. There was also the sighting of a flying disc-like object above the Chicago O'Hare Airport last 2006. Flight 446 was getting ready to fly to North Carolina from Chicago O'Hare International Airport when a United Airlines employee on the tarmac noticed a dark gray metallic craft hovering over Gate C-17. A total of 12 United employees spotted the saucer-shaped craft around 4:15 p.m. on November 12, 2016. But since the object was not spotted on radar, it was dismissed as a freak weather phenomenon. Texas also has its own share of recorded UFO sightings. In Phoenix between 1995 to 1997, and more recently in Stephenville, Texas in 2008. On January 2008, Stephenville gained national media attention when dozens of residents reported observations of UFOs. Several residents described a craft as the size of a football field, while others said they were nearly a mile long, similar to the Phoenix Lights mass sightings of March 1997. The Philippines also has its own share of UFOs and extraterrestrial sightings, with one of the most well-documented ones happening in Las Piñas City. A videotape containing alleged small balls of light dancing frenetically in the evening sky over Carmela Homes 4 in Las Piñas was shown to the media on September 2000. Another set of more than 10 UFOs were seen in the same city about 4 years later. Another popular sighting occurred in the province of Bulacan in 2011. A couple of UFOs were seen in Bulacan in the first week of May 2011 and then again on May 27. People reported 2 large, round red lights in the night sky. Some people said that one of them was at the east and the other at the west, and then they collided with each other and then disappeared. And then in 2015, we had the viral report of lights forming V-shapes in the Pampanga night sky. The alleged UFO was sighted on the evening of April 26, 2015, The video shows motionless lights in a V formation in the sky. The idea of extraterrestrials on Earth has been extremely divisive. We have believers saying there is enough tangible evidence indicating the presence of aliens on the planet as early as the ancient civilizations. And yet we have others that dismiss these records as inconclusive, anecdotal, and fallacies. Despite these debates, the idea of intelligent life beyond planet Earth has fascinated humans across multiple generations. So, let's see what science has to say. There have been many earlier searches for extraterrestrial intelligence within the solar system. In 1896, Nikola Tesla suggested that an extreme version of his wireless electrical transmission system could be used to contact beings on Mars. In fact, in 1899, while he was conducting experiments at his Colorado Springs laboratory, he thought he detected a signal coming from Mars. He was receiving a repetitive signal that would stop whenever Mars would set from the sky. Analysis of Tesla's research has led to a range of explanations, including that he may have actually picked up naturally occurring radio noise caused by a moon of Jupiter, or that he may have been observing signals from Marconi's European radio experiments, or that Tesla simply misunderstood the new technology he was working with. In 1960, Cornell astronomer Frank Drake performed the first Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, or SETI experiment, and he named it Project Ozma after Queen Ozma in the Wizard of Oz book series. To search for his Ozma, or basically extraterrestrial intelligence, Drake used a radio telescope at Green Bank, West Virginia, to examine the stars Tau Ceti and Epsilon Eridani near the 1.420 GHz marker frequency. Despite the time and investments, he found nothing of interest. But the search for extraterrestrial intelligence continued. In the March 1955 issue of the Scientific American, it contained an article where John D. Krause described an idea for a project that scanned the cosmos for radio signals using a radio telescope equipped with a parabolic reflector. Within 2 years, his concept was approved for construction by the Ohio State University on an 8-hectare plot in Delaware. Their observatory telescope was called Big Ear, and it began the world's first continuous SETI program. And then, of course, there's the SETI Institute itself. It was incorporated in 1984 as a California non-profit organization with CEO Tom Pearson and SETI scientist Jill Tarter. The institute began with one project, NASA's SETI program itself. Over the years, other research disciplines have been added to the institute's portfolio, all unified by their relevance to the search for and understanding of life beyond Earth. Today, the institute has approximately 100 scientists as well as specialists in administration, education, and outreach. But why are these scientists confident that intelligent life exists beyond planet Earth? It's probably because of the Drake equation. This equation was created to answer the question, how many alien societies exist and are they detectable? The Drake equation was so groundbreaking that it was the topic of a meeting of experts in West Virginia in 1961. And since then, thousands of SETI scientists have embarked on various projects, experiments, and researches that focused on one of the elements found within the Drake equation. But what exactly are these terms found within the Drake equation? You have N, which is equivalent to the number of civilizations in the Milky Way galaxy whose electromagnetic emissions are detectable. Then, we have R, which is the rate of formation of stars suitable for the development of intelligent life. We have Fp, which is the fraction of those stars with planetary systems, and E, which is the number of planets per solar system with an environment suitable for life, Fl, the fraction of suitable planets on which life actually appears, Fi, the fraction of life-bearing planets on which intelligent life emerges, FC, the fraction of civilizations that develop a technology that produces detectable signs of their existence, and finally L, the average length of time such civilizations produce such signs. But mind you, the Drake equation doesn't exist for us to know the specific number of intelligent populations found across the galaxies. It is more of an approximation, a tool, or a guide to help guide us in our search for intelligent life. But despite this, the Drake equation still has its critics. Criticism on the Drake equation is not necessarily on the equation itself, but on the fact that the estimated values for several of its factors are highly conjectural. The combined multiplicative effect being that the uncertainty associated with any derived value is so large that the equation cannot be used to draw firm conclusions. Despite these uncertainties, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence persists. But despite decades of searching and millions of dollars in investments, we've been met with false alarms, unverifiable signals, and in most instances, radio silence. Are the aliens hiding from us? Is space simply too vast? Are we truly alone? Well, the Fermi Paradox eloquently and scientifically voices our frustration. The Fermi Paradox, named after Italian-American physicist Enrico Fermi, is the apparent contradiction between the lack of evidence for extraterrestrial civilizations and various high estimates for their probability. There are many hypothetical explanations for the Fermi Paradox that does not fully nullify the Drake equation. A common assertion is that life could be rare, and to aggravate that further, we may not have all the resources needed to travel across the universe. Considering the vastness of space, how we haven't discovered intelligent life close to us, and also the frequency of extinction events, intelligent life may be few, far apart, and lack the economic and natural resources needed to fuel space travel. And then, if we base it from our own experience here on Earth, biological and social evolution may actually be working against the universal expansion of life. From what we can see here, it might be in the nature of intelligent life to destroy itself and others as well. As such, truly evolved organisms may have decided to isolate themselves and grow beyond colonization as a norm. Now, despite all the previous explanations and more, nothing could be more compelling than the possibility that extraterrestrial intelligence is already here on the planet and is actually hiding in plain sight. And so, science has spoken. No publicly known verifiable evidence of extraterrestrial life on planet Earth is available. Highly funded scientific ventures that searches for extraterrestrial intelligence exists. Their projects are called Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, or SETI. The Drake equation tells us that there is a high probability that extraterrestrial intelligence exists somewhere in space. But the Fermi Paradox highlights the irony that despite this high probability, we have yet to find traces of intelligent life despite decades of searching. But considering science is the process of eliminating all possible explanations to a phenomenon until we're left with one that is most probable, then there remains the possibility that extraterrestrial intelligence is already here. And that's it for our video this week that asks the question, why aliens? I hope you were able to learn something from this short video on the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. If you did, I hope you can give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please don't hesitate to message me, your resident Filipina alien, scientist, in the comments section below. Thank you very much, and see you around!